Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that, let's be honest, we all think about. And sometimes it comes with a little bit of anxiety, retirement. But we're going to flip the script. This is not about ending your career, it's about designing the most exciting chapter of your life. So, let's figure out how to make that happen.
So let's just start with this big question. Is retirement the end of the line for work, or is it the beginning of living life completely on your own terms? The difference between those two realities, it usually just comes down to one thing: having a plan. And to help you actually build that plan, we've broken this down into 3 core pillars. But first, we'll take a quick look at the gap between our retirement dreams and, well, reality. Then we'll cover your finances, your health, and your purpose. And I promise we'll wrap it all up with one simple step you can take the second you're done listening. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about getting our expectations in line with reality. We all have this dream of a peaceful, easy retirement, right? But to turn that dream into something real, we need a super solid foundation of preparation. For most people, this is it. This is the biggest source of anxiety. It's that nagging fear of outliving your money, especially when you start thinking about healthcare costs down the road. And you know what? It's a totally valid concern, which is exactly why our first pillar is probably the most important one. So let's build on that. Welcome to Pillar 1, your financial fortress. Seriously, think of it that way. This isn't just about having a pile of cash. It's about building a stronghold that's going to protect your freedom and your peace of mind for decades. And that brings us to the million-dollar question, or maybe the multi-million-dollar question. How much do you actually need? It feels like an impossible number to come up with, doesn't it? But it's not. There are some really great, surprisingly simple tools that can give you a clear target to aim for. So here's what's cool. There are basically 2 different ways to get to that magic number. On one side, you've got the future value formula. It's a bit more detailed, a bit more precise. On the other side, there's the 4% rule, which is just a fantastic, quick and dirty shortcut. Let's break them both down real quick. Okay, the future value formula looks intimidating. I know, but the idea behind it is actually really simple. It just takes what your life costs today, say $5,000 a month, and it figures out what that exact same lifestyle is going to cost you in the future after inflation does its thing. So you know what that $5,000 a month will feel like 30 years from now. It's all about finding the future price tag for your current life. Now, if all that math on the last slide made your head spin, check out the 4% rule. This is a brilliant rule of thumb that comes from years of market research. It basically says you can safely take out 4% of your total retirement savings every single year without ever running out of money. So to get your target number, you just take what you want to spend in a year and divide it by 0.04. That's it. In like 10 seconds, you have a powerful, real goal to shoot for. So what does this actually look like with real numbers? Well, one of our sources, based in Indonesia, ran the calculation. For a 25-year-old spending about 5 million rupiah a month, they would need around 8.27 billion rupiah to retire comfortably. Now, forget the currency for a second. That is a huge number. But don't let it scare you. It's not meant to freak you out. It's meant to show you the incredible power of time and compounding. It proves that starting early is the single biggest advantage you have. So, okay, how in the world do you start building that kind of fortress? All the sources pretty much agree on 4 key steps. 1, get disciplined about saving and, this is huge, investing your money so it beats inflation. 2, look for ways to earn a little extra. 3, and this one is non-negotiable. You have to kill your debt before you retire. Debt is just an anchor holding you back. And finally, number 4, get a handle on your spending right now so you can free up more cash for your future self. And here's a really fascinating, kind of counterintuitive tip I found. If you have a partner, think about staggering your retirements. Don't stop working at the same time. If one of you keeps working for just a few more years, that income can be a massive bridge. It eases the transition financially and can seriously boost your savings right at the finish line. All right, so we've got the finances locked down. But what's the point of a giant fortress if the person living inside isn't feeling great? That brings us straight to Pillar 2, your health, because you can have all the money in the world, but you can't buy back your well-being.
This image just says it all, doesn't it? We spend so much time calculating and planning for our money, but we totally forget to plan for our most valuable asset of all. A healthy retirement is a happy retirement, period. The bottom line is you've got to invest in your body and your mind with the same focus you put on your financial portfolio.
So how do you do that? How do you invest in your well-being?
Well, the research points to a few really key habits. You've got to keep moving, even if it's just a daily walk. Build some kind of daily routine to keep that sense of structure and purpose. Keep that brain firing by learning something new, a language, an instrument, anything. And please, nurture your friendships to fight off loneliness. Oh, and actively find ways to relax and manage stress. These aren't just nice ideas. This is essential maintenance for a long and happy life. Here's another amazing piece of advice. If you want to stay sharp and connected to what's happening in the world, make a real effort to have friends who are younger than you. They'll introduce you to new ideas, new tech, new ways of thinking. It just keeps you feeling vibrant and part of the conversation. And that brings us to our third and final pillar. You've got your money sorted, you're prioritizing your health. The last big question is, what are you actually going to do all day? This is all about finding a new reason to get out of bed in the morning, your new why. And honestly, the possibilities here are endless. You could take all that experience you've gained and become a mentor. You could volunteer for a cause you really care about. You could finally learn to play the guitar or paint or write that novel. You could travel, start a tiny business based on a passion, or even go back to school just for fun. This is your time to play and explore. I just love this quote because it perfectly sums up what this pillar is all about. Retirement is not the finish line. It is a brand new starting line. It's a huge shift from a life that was maybe full of obligations to a life that's full of opportunities and growth. So we have covered a lot of ground. Finances, health, purpose. I get it. It can feel like a lot. But the whole journey, no matter how huge it seems, always starts with one single, simple step. So let's bring it all home to what you can do the minute this is over. That's it. That is your first step. Forget about the billion rupee number for a minute. Your first move is so much simpler. Just figure out exactly how much your life costs right now, this month. Grab a notebook, open a spreadsheet, whatever works for you, and just track your spending. That one number is the bedrock for every other calculation we talked about. You simply can't plan for your future if you don't understand your present. And we're going to end with this thought. Stop thinking about retirement as an ending. Think of it as a blank canvas. It's a fresh start. You'll have the time, and if you plan it right, you'll have the health and the resources to paint whatever masterpiece you want. So the only real question left is, what are you going to create?